Hello, welcome to Monday Night Live 33, about take 32. I'm sorry about that if people were on a different page, but we had some quite major technical issues, so we should be here now. I'll just get up all of the comments and see if we can. Guys, can you see me? Blake's here and Jason's here. Hope you can see me. Guys here, Justin, how are we going? Michael, all good? Beautiful. Love your work, guys. Okay, so here we go. I'm glad you can see me, Baz. It's very exciting for me too. So big night tonight, magnet fishing night. So we've got big giant magnets and this is our giveaway one tonight. This is called the Death Magnet. They've come up with some great names for these magnets. There's the Death, and there's Claw, and there's all sorts of things. So anyway, we're doing magnet fishing tonight, and we've got a few bits and pieces to catch up with. We've got some questions I didn't get to last week. That's great. People are saying third time lucky. If you actually saw what was going on behind the scenes, it was actually like 37th time lucky. So, but at least we're all here. That's the main thing. So, for those who don't know, I'm Ben from Gold Diggers. We do this every Monday night, normally about 10 minutes earlier than what we did tonight. To win tonight's prize, which is actually close to $300 magnet, you need to share this post. And I didn't put the magnet too close to the PC. I don't think that's what happened to me. But anything's possible here. So share this post and we'll draw this out at the end of the live stream in about close to just under an hour. So thanks for joining us. And we've got Dean's here. There's a heap of people here. Now, there's some news. We might just cover some news from through the week. This came out, I believe, came out through the week. The Gold Snitch Booster seems like a fantastic booster from all reports. I don't know a whole stack about them. A lot of the guys on here. Clyde and Ray and a few of the other guys know a whole stack about these. They're saying that this is a very, very good one. It's just coming out now. So they also do one that's for a VLF machine. I'm not quite sure how that works. I need to buy one of each of these and get them up here and have a play with them. But these, if you go to the Gold Snitch Facebook page, they're actually giving one away timed for the timing for the show. So if they wanted to do it on the show, we could probably work something out there. But in talking to this, there seems to be the Gold Snitch, two decent ones, the Gold Snitch and the Steel Phrase. So I don't know a lot about them. So I'm going to do a show or a couple of shows on these and find out exactly what they do for the machine and how it affects your machine, and whether we're talking about just changing the volume. So the way some these work is that they turn up the volume or change the pitch of the volume so it makes it easier to hear. So if you've got bad hearing or a medical issue, that helps a lot. The other thing is there's a Steel Phase one, and I hear they're the two good ones. So we're going to do a bit of a show on those. But if you go over to Gold Snitch's Facebook page, they've got a giveaway they're doing for a couple of weeks. So make sure you duck over there. And they have a look at it over there. So if we just have a bit of a look here, tonight's screenshot there, background, is Crestbook in South Australia, sent in by Denise. Thanks, Denise. I'll have a little something coming out to you through the week as a little bit of a thank you for the nice picture that you sent us. So that's that. Right. So the other bit of great news is I believe Warren from NQ Explorers is only about 400 odd subscribers away from his 10,000. So, if you get a chance and you're not subscribed to NQ Explorers, please duck over there. He's on next week and we're having a big show on bush rangers. So that should be a cracking show. I'm really looking forward to that. I need to do a bit of research and find out exactly what we're talking about. I know he's got some ideas and would love to... We're both really looking forward to this show. So, so Stuart is the Gold Snitch guy. And he's on that Facebook page, that Gold Snitch Facebook page. So go over there and have a look. But I am going to get... I've got the Steel Phase 1s coming up already. I'm going to get the Gold Snitch ones up because they seem like the pick of them. So yes, and Blake makes an excellent point here. Warren's prize for the for his 10,000 is an actual AT Max. It's a $1,000 prize. So it's a phenomenal prize over there. And you need to go and, if you're subscribed, you need to go and comment on that post because that's the only way to win the prize. So, yes. Right. So we've got the Central Coast guys in the house. So let's just talk about magnets for a minute, okay? There's magnets and there's magnets, okay? So this magnet looks identical to any other magnet you'd buy, okay? So, but it's a particularly strong one. So they're rated by pull force. So if you had, I believe it's an inch of steel, the amount of force that it takes to pull that magnet off that way. This one, the Death Magnet, which I love the name of, is rated to 280 kilos of force it needs to take it off. So that magnet, if you get that magnet stuck to something, like we had it stuck to the head of a pick a couple of months ago, and it was very, very hard to get it off. So it will pick up a fair lump of like 280 kilos. It's a very big magnet sort of thing. And the reason they call it the Death Magnet is because that's what it feels like when you get your finger stuck between two of them. So like it will break a finger, let me tell you. So there's 4 sizes, and that's a 280 kilo lift. That's a 150 kilo lift. It's a green rope, so you can't see it on the screen. This is there's a 116 kilo lift with the rope. And, oh, there's trouble there. And a 60 kilo lift, and that's a little one. So there's stacks of different sizes of these magnets. So, for instance, I sourced these magnets. I bought a whole stack of I bought a whole stack of these magnets out of China, and you know, you can buy 100 different magnets, 116 kilos, and all of them were. You could actually feel the difference in the magnets. Like some were much stronger than others, and some were rubbish, and so we've tested all these, and they work. They're the best magnets that we could find. So, Tony asked a question here, do they pick up gold? No, they won't pick up gold. Well, okay. So, they'll only pick up ferrous metals, okay? I have heard of guys using them where gold's mixed with black sand, and you can actually pick up the black sand and it holds the gold as well. So, so that's a so no, they won't attract gold, and yes, but they can be used in some circumstances for that, but no good for gold really. But it will pick up the black sand. And okay, if you're looking, so for instance, I use them in a couple of different ways. I actually use one of these small ones with a plastic bag, a heavy plastic bag over it, to separate when I'm panning. Right, I use that magnet with a plastic bag over it to strip the black sand out of the gold to make it easier to pan off, and then you can actually lift the black sand out, leave it on the plastic bag, get rid of the black sand. So yes, we send them in the mail. We just put them in a big box so they don't that sticky. Same thing's bloody happened again. So they can be a bit dangerous, sort of thing. So yeah, you do have to watch you don't get your finger stuck in them. So let me just leave that one right there, not too close to my phone. Let me put my phone over here somewhere. So that's magnets, and so they vary in price from the ones we sell start at $89 and go all the way up to $300. So yes, that's what we sell them for. Now, as a special tonight, if you use the code, what was that code? MAG, M-A-G 20, right? Until I sell out of them, and I may even be able to get some more in, they're 20% off. So if you use MAG, M-A-G 20, you will get 20% off the website for magnet fishing. And you just have to search in the, there's a search bar there, and if you put in magnet, happy days. So, yes. So Vanessa's here, Mark's here, Bradley's here, Mike's here, Luke, Neil, Roger, everyone's here. Kyla, hello guys. So, there's a couple of uses for, well, there's a stack of uses for these. So, Clyde's asking here for a size suggestion. I always go for large, Clyde, but you know, all of these magnets will drag something out of the. G'day, David and Tracy. Good to see you too. Like that magnet there. Where is something metal? I haven't got anything. Well, here you go. So just to give you a bit of an idea, like that takes some, like to pull that off, right? That really takes some pulling off. Like that's just a trowel thing. So it really takes some pulling off. It's not hard to actually slide it off. But g'day Denise, how are you? Feeling left out, are we? Such a great photo too, Denise. I love that photo. So, but it actually will take some. Yes, it will actually take some force. That one there. So, yes. So I would suggest that, you know, at $89 with 20% off, what's that bring down? $20 would be $71 or something or other. That's great value sort of thing. And as you go up in size, you'll just get better results with it, sort of thing. So this is half the problem with this magnet, the 280 kilo magnet. You can get that stuck on something, right? And if you get that stuck on it's very hard to get out. Like, if there's a car down there and this is stuck to a car, like, yeah, it can be, it can be hard work. Like, getting that was virtually impossible to get off that pick. We had to stand on the pick and really two of us slide that magnet off that pick. So you can get it pretty stuck. And like, they're the proper magnet. This isn't, we're not playing around here. So with that magnet there, that's what they call it, the death magnet. Like, it's, yeah. So, yes. And what a lot of people do is to transport them, and how we pack them, is we wrap that in bubble wrap so nothing can get within about 4 inches of it, and then it makes it pretty safe to carry. But that's what you've got to do when you put it in your car, or you don't want to get it stuck on your, you don't want to put it down on the bonnet of your car. So, yeah. So, actually, I don't know whether my glasses would stick to that. No, they're a bit carbon fibre or something or other, these. They're a bit flash. So, right, who else have we got here? So, you don't need a miner's license for magnet fishing. There is... yeah, everyone's having a go at me about my one. I've got a lot of one-liners going tonight, so yes. So great. These are good magnets. So there's a couple of things that we'll talk about just quickly. Tying them on. Okay. So there's a lot of force exerted here. What I actually do with these magnets is I actually double up the knot round the top of the eye. So see how that's 2 layers there. I double that up just for a bit of extra security, and then these haven't done it. But when I've got one there that I use, I will actually put a bit of thread locker on the thread so I can't undo it. We don't do it with the ones we sell because we never know what people want to do with them, sort of thing. So I don't know what the braking, someone just asked what the braking strain was. Andrew asked. I don't know, I think it was Andrew. I don't know what the braking strain is, but the big white rope, you would have to go a long way to break that. So you just need to, and tie them with a bowline, something that doesn't slip. And then I like to tape all of that up so it doesn't chafe. So you want to tape that first bit from the magnet eye to the up here. You want to tape it up with some electrical tape just to keep it nice and secure. So yeah, someone's asking, detector magnets and electronics aren't good together. So the mobile phone thing, detectors, keep them away from the electronics. This rope is a braided rope with like strands inside. I don't know what you call it. It's blue. Yes. So what happens then, right, is magnet fishing. You basically throw this magnet out into the river, or into the creek, or down a mine shaft, or anywhere that you think is very interesting, okay, and slowly bring it back to you, and anything magnetic will stick to it, right? What happens though, and I think I might have to do a little bit of a rearranging here. There's a box, there's another box, that might do me. So what happens is, a lot of times, here's my my lump of wood. So a lot of times you will throw your magnet in, right, and it will get stuck around a branch in the water. So if you've thrown your rope in and you're jammed, you need to walk one way as far as you can, and if it doesn't come undone that way, walk the other way as far as you can. That will normally, as you pull that and it's tight, that will normally, if you work this way, it won't undo, but if you walk that way, it just comes undone. So that's the biggest trick with magnet fishing, is how to get your magnet back. But if it gets jammed on a log or something in a V, you've just got to walk one way and walk the other way and try pulling it from a different angle. That's the biggest trick with magnet fishing. So there we go. So that's all well and good. That's all well and good, but the trick to it really is where do you go? So I had a bit of a poke around, Yeah, people use soft drink bottles to put them in. Yeah, there's stacks of different ways to do it. And there's a stack of good videos on it. Like, I know Aqua Chigga does a stack of videos. There's some guys. It is huge in the States and in the UK. Huge. So yeah, so locations. Let's talk about locations. So I looked this afternoon at I thought, well, let's get a location for tonight. So I did a little bit of research, and let me get a picture up here, and I came up with this map. That's this map here. Right.
5 minutes in, and this swordfish has come up towards the surface, and it's picked up speed, so we've picked up speed to chase it down.
Baby, come on, jump, baby. Let's see ya. Just do a 3.
There we go. So, anyway, I won't show you the map, but I will show you the picture. So, this is the crossing. Okay, this is pre-1900. This is the crossing over the Logan River. So that's a horse and buggy on that ferry going across the river. And here's the later version of it. Okay, now that spot would be a fantastic spot to get some old gear. Okay, so and of course there's all these modern sites, like off the jetties, marinas, particularly if you've got a boat or a kayak or that sort of thing. There is a stack of shopping trolleys out there. You may find a shopping trolley. People have found guns, motorbikes, but for all these old areas, this is some phenomenal spots to pick up some older relics. Yeah. So that's what's happening with the magnet fishing. Has anyone? I'm very interested. Has anyone tried it? Has anyone actually got a magnet and doing magnet fishing? Because it'd be interesting to see what you found. Leanne puts a good comment there. WW2 Wendell is a great magnet fishing YouTube channel. So, yeah. So, Chris makes a good point here. So it's a point that I haven't thought of. Chris says here, Yarra River outside the Crown Casino. Well, I would think that would be a phenomenal spot to do it. I mean, there'd be a lot of rubbish, but like there would also be a stack of good stuff there. So, you know, there is some fantastic spots to go. Yeah, people talk about the old floods and what have you. But if you've got something heavy on the bottom and it's covered with a bit of mud, like they're big wide rivers, so you know who knows what you'll find in lots of those things. So, yes. And if you're in Sydney or the Gold Coast, right, the hire bikes, what do they call those bikes where you can pick them up and you pay for them, and they leave them everywhere. Like on the Gold Coast, there's a whole stack of these bright orange push bikes. I bet there's a few of them in the Broadwater, and you'll be finding some of them. Right, so yeah, and anywhere under a bridge, like people go fishing, they drop their tackle box off. Happy days. Like there's so much gear that might be worthwhile. See, Steve makes a point here on the Murray River. You could go up and down that Murray River. There's a lifetime of magnet fishing in there. So yes, right. So for those who don't know who I am by this stage, Ben from Gold Diggers. This is Monday Night Live. We do this every Monday night. Tonight's prize is the Death Magnet, $299, I think. So if you want to do that, just share it, and we will put it on the I'll send it out to you tomorrow. I've just got to grab a magnet that's kamikazed off the desk. So yes, so that's what we're doing. I'm also going to send out a couple of mugs, Gold Diggers mugs, to people who share as well. We'll just do that as well. So we've got a lot of questions here from last week and the night before. If you've got any questions about magnet fishing, I can answer them. No trouble at all. Yes, so there will be a stack of bikes. People are talking about bikes now. There'll be a stack of bikes in the Yarra. There's no doubt about that. Yes, so those hire bikes, those orange, they're horrible, those hire bikes. I'm not a big fan of them at all. So I went down the Gold Coast there. They've only had them in the Gold Coast about a month. And there is bikes everywhere, all along the beach, the foreshore, and yeah, it's incredible. So, yes. Yeah, Adam, I should have thought to give you a mug today, so, yeah. Yeah, please don't take medical advice. If you've got I'm not a doctor or anything like that. If you've got a pacemaker and you buy a magnet, don't be coming to me if something happens to you. So, yes. Denise, I will look at that for you. I'll just write that down. So, okay. So, Andrew from last week, and I'm no expert at this, asked about a clear red rocks. So rocks you could see through. I would suspect, Andrew, if you're here tonight, I would suspect that they may be garnets, not a terribly rare gemstone, particularly in that size. But I would suspect there'd be garnets, but I would certainly make note of I would grab a few, make a note of it, maybe take them to a specialist, or some of the Facebook groups are very, very good at identifying that sort of thing. So, but yeah, I would certainly pick up a few and certainly get them checked out. So, there's a whole stack of gemstones in places where you wouldn't believe it. Warren and I, we're trying to go I forget what sort of rock it is now, but I've got a video coming. There's a vein of some sort of gemstone, I can't remember now, in a cutting on a main road that we're going to pull up and see if we can get into. So there is gemstones everywhere. They can be worth some money. Make sure you put a GPS point down where they are. But yeah, they could be rose quartz as well. James makes a good point there. But if they're small, red, clear rocks, I would suspect they'd be garnets. But I have seen some garnets out there. Hello, Ty. Can I have a shout out? My mum saw you. I don't know. Did I see your mum, Ty? Excellent. So, yes. And who was that? Lynn. Lynn's full of useful information. Lapidary clubs is another thing too. A good lapidary club can't go too far wrong as well. So, right. So I get a lot of questions about gemstones, and I'm no real expert on gemstones. In fact, I'm not an expert at all on gemstones. I would resort to your Lapidary Club, some of the gemstone Facebook groups. That would be the best spot to get those answers about gemstones, because I am horrible at that. So yeah. Now I do sell. I have lost this other magnet. I do sell other magnets as well. I sell the little magnets. I'm out of stock of them at the moment. I don't even think they're on the website. But I do sell the little magnets you put on the end of your pick to pick out bits and pieces. So they're only a small magnet. I used to have one here, this size magnet. And they got a hole in the centre to put a screw in them. I can see that quite clear, but I don't know whether you guys can. But yeah, and they're designed to pick up hot rocks, just like that. Those rocks are stuck to that magnet, and yeah, so that's what that's designed for. And a lot of people talk about put their magnet on the head of their pick. I actually put it on the base, on the handle of the pick, the back end of the pick, because I use my pick. I put my arm on my pick, and it's like an armrest. And if I've got that magnet on the metal, what it does is it gathers all ironstone up like that when you're out in the bush, and it doesn't, and you can't rest your arm on it. Rubs a hole in you. So yeah, so those are the other magnets. I'm getting more of them in. They're a good little magnet though for metal detecting. These are a bit hard work, these magnets for metal detecting. They're a bit too much. So right. Right. Small creek magnet fishing. I would suggest one of the, like this is the second smallest magnet. It's 116 kilos. Like I can get that off there, but I don't think if I put it on the bigger ones I couldn't get it off there. Stuart's here, Gold Snitch Stuart. Hello Stuart, how are you? We've just been talking about you. So if you missed it earlier, make sure you go to the Gold Snitch Facebook page. He's giving away a gold snitch, and go over there and have a look. Yes. So Peter asked how they stay on. I assume you're talking about these little magnets, Peter. These little magnets, I araldite them on, and I put a screw that's about 2 inches long down the handle of the pick. I've had one on my pick now for 4 or 5 years. No issue, hasn't moved, and it's done a heap of works. Yes. So, Nathan, thank you very much, but no thank you. I am not sticking two of these magnets together because I will never get them apart because it is a, yes, it's not, it's not very good to stick these. I've been there, I've done this, I've got some experience, so yes. Some other cool things came through today, through the week. I did put a post up about this. But someone dropped this off to me. It's an alluvial copper nugget. Actually, they dropped two of them off. Very, very interesting, very cool. I did put a photo up with that little nugget that I was showing people last week. But yeah, very, very cool, these copper nuggets. They look exactly like gold, except, well, much more coppery. So, yeah. So, I don't even know whether they're found in Australia. So, yeah. Yes. Right, so, what other questions have we got here? So, last week, we talked about taped off, sorry folks, we talked about taped off areas in the triangle. And someone mentioned it here, on the show, and since, I think it's since then or that lots of people are taping off unsafe areas, so mine shafts, that sort of thing. I instantly thought it may have been some sort of sacred site or that sort of arrangement. Apparently it is, because I came across one in the goldfields here in Queensland through the week, and it was just, and I went and had a good look at it, and then I did some reading up. It seems like people are taping these things off with some biodegradable marking tape, hiking tape, and just to protect other walkers so they don't walk into it in the middle of the night or what have you. So, yes. Right. These magnets here, those magnets there, they're about $6 each, something like that. They're not relatively dear. I haven't got any at the moment. I'm out of stock of them, but they will be coming back through, and yes. So, yes. I've got to talk to you too, Stuart, tomorrow or Wednesday, and need to get one up so I can test it. So, yeah, so I need to talk to you about that one because I haven't got a gold snitch to test. So we need to do that. Now I've stuck this to it. I'll leave it there. Yes, so magnets don't work on copper. Like on the copper magnets, they don't work. Stainless steel, it doesn't work. Alloy, it doesn't work. Gold, it doesn't work. Silver, it doesn't work. It works on all the ferrous message stuff. So ferrous metal, I should say. So yeah, like guys are talking about, Clyde's talking about the Gold Snitch Pro. It's just been released and there's some very good things coming out about it. And being able to fit it on a VLF makes it very, very interesting. Yeah, between it and the steel phase seems to be the two boosters to go to. So yeah, so just to give you an idea of these prices on these magnets, the small one, which I've stuck here, the small one's 89. That's the 60 kilo. Then I've got 116 kilo. It's 119. The 150 kilo is 169, and the 280 kilo, the Death Magnet, is 299. But until Wednesday, so for a couple of days, you get all these 20% off if you use the code MAG20, M-A-G, numbers 20. That way you've got, you can buy them 20% off. So like that brings the blue one down to like 90 something dollars. So yes, so they're good value, but I can only do that for a couple of days. So if you want one, just go over and to the website after the show and grab one up. Let me put them over there before I end up killing myself and jamming something in it. live on Facebook where I can't really swear and curse at my stupidity. So, yeah. Okay, so, yes, the code is MAG20. Thank you, Neil. Perfect. Dean runs a gold snitch on a gold monster. Wow. That must make it super sensitive. So, yeah. Yes. Thanks, Ben, putting that up as well. Okay. Right. So, the other question I've got here is about abandoned mines. So, abandoned mines are... The question is an abandoned mine still owned? Normally, these abandoned mines I was talking about there last week are not owned. They will... but normally the land that they're on are owned. So even if it's in a state forest, that state forest is actually owned by the government. Or that's how they consider it, owned by the government. So everywhere is owned or controlled by someone. So if you're looking at mines in a fossicking area, not so much. So you just need to be a little bit careful with some of that stuff. So you just need to make sure you're allowed to be where you are. So guys, about 10 minutes time, we're going to draw out the Death Magnet winner. So you've got about 10 minutes to about 10 minutes to share this, and we will draw that out, and I will send that out to someone tomorrow. So the other thing, there's a couple of things that I forgot to load up tonight. Guy from the Dark Side had a what was that? That was a picture that I clean forgot to load up, and it was it's about the there's a event on, but we'll get to that later in the year, because I think I've got a little bit of time for that one. The other thing that's on this weekend is the Lightning Ridge Opal Festival. So that should be a phenomenal weekend. If you feel like going for a run, feel free. It's a phenomenal event. I've been to it once before, and it was an amazing weekend. So yes. So that's all we've got for what's on tonight, this week. So yeah, no license. The only thing you need a license for is if you're fossicking. Okay. Now, if you're searching a park in Brisbane and find a gold nugget, right? You don't even need, as long as you were in your intention was to find coins and relics, you don't need to declare that. It states that in the fossicking rules and regulations. So the only time you need a fossicking license is if you were relic hunting. Of course, the other thing you got to be careful of, if you find a gun in a creek, I would be handing that in quick smart before you get caught with it and get done for all the crimes it's committed. So, because as we know, guns are very evil according to some people. So, yes. As far as I know, magnet fishing is not regulated at all, except for the fact of putting, if you find something that looks a bit dangerous, you need to hand it in. Yes. So, Glen Ray, Scott, what's Scott say here? Glen Ray, Coffs Harbour, Timberfest on this weekend, they're doing gold mine tours. Oh, sweet. If you're going into, if you're around Coffs Harbour, go and do a gold mine tour. That sounds fantastic. So, yes. So, I've got to... so, Brody asked a question that I get all the time. and it's probably a good option to cover it now. If you put a coil cover on a metal detector, does it affect the signal depth in any way, shape or form? No, it doesn't. In actual fact, it probably improves your signal depth because you're more likely to run the coil hard on the ground and scratch it over the rocks. That's how everyone should be running their machines. Flat to the ground the whole way. None of this swinging up like this on the ends. Yes. This is the one thing I would say about these magnets. That's got 10 metres of rope on it. If you're snagged on a log, I reckon you need more than 10 metres of rope. So that's something that you'd think about as well there. So, yes. So, Alicia, you've asked a question innocently, I'm sure, that goes a lot deeper. And she asks what the difference between a fossicking and a prospecting licence is. Well, in Queensland, there's a dramatic difference. You can get a fossicking permit for $50 and allows you to go in the fossicking areas. A prospecting permit is actually something that a mining company or someone looking to peg a lease would have to allow them to go into an area and look at the area before they peg the lease. So that's the most important. That's the important thing. You want a fossicking permit if you're in Queensland. The definitions change per state, so you got to look it up per state. So yes. Right. Okay. Let's have a look here and see if we've got any. We'll just get the live stream up here. We'll have a look at it and I'll start the... so you've got about 2 minutes left to share the post before we bring up the randomizer, and we'll have a good look at who's winning the prize, and we'll draw the prize, and we'll draw. How many mugs have I got? I've got 3 mugs sitting here. So we'll have 3 runners up as well. So 3, and they're the Gold Diggers mugs there. So we got those 3 mugs there. So we'll draw them out as well. So happy days. Okay. Right. Okay. So we've just clicked over time there. We will just run this randomizer now to see who wins. So we've just run that there, and the Christopher, where's Christopher from? Christopher wins. Christopher's in Leyburn, out near where I go. Chris wins the magnet tonight. So fantastic, Chris. I will contact you straight after the show. Okay. So then let's just run it again here. Karen, is it Karen? Karen with a C from, I don't know where Karen's from. Karen with a C wins the one of the mugs. Then what have we done here? I've mucked up my my randomizer here, but that's okay. We'll load it up again and get it going here. So, is there any other people are asking, what's that giving a false signal, a 5-inch monster, probably ground noise. All VLFs all VLF machines will sometimes give you false noises, so that's not an uncommon thing. There's no difference there's no real difference at all with that. So, randomizer's up running again. We've got a coffee mug going out to Tony. No, did I do that one? No, Tony. Tony from Muswellbrook. So Tony wins the mug. And then last but not least, why won't this work? Ray White. Ray White from Inverell. Looks like we might have 2 firefighters tonight. So, yeah, so Ray, you win a mug, mate. So I'll contact you all after the show, and we can go from there. Just another interesting point. We had our first international winner last week. A mug went to the States. I forget his name now, but yeah, Peter won the mug, and it went over to the States, and yeah, he loves it. I don't know whether he won't have it yet, so it was a very expensive postage to give that away. So yes, right, guys. So that's us for tonight. Next week, huge show. We've got Warren from NQ Explorers on. We're going to give away a really big prize next week. We haven't done a prize for a. We haven't given away a metal detector for ages. So let's give away a metal detector. We'll give away a metal detector. Warren from NQ Explorers is on. Bush Rangers. We'll be talking about some of the lost treasure that the Bush Rangers have left behind for us. So I'm really looking forward to it. It is probably going to be about, it might go over an hour. We've got a lot of subjects to cover next week. Don't forget, magnets are 20% off till Wednesday. So now's the time to sort of get the magnets if you're looking for a magnet. Yeah, that's it. So thanks very much for joining me. Sorry about the delayed start, but we got there in the end. So thanks very much, everyone. Have a